In this video, I'm going to be discussing the safety precautions and the uses of our DeWalt compound miter saw. First off, we want to start off with safety. We want to make sure that we have our safety glasses on and that we do not have long sleeves or necklaces or bracelets. A watch will be fine, but not a bracelet or a necklace. Long hair will need to be pulled back, and our sleeves, like I said, if you have long sleeves, can be pulled up. Alright, starting out with this saw, we notice there is a light on it. We'll go ahead and turn that on, and then we're going to look at our numbers on the saw. So being we said it is a double compound miter saw, that means that it has angles here that we can rotate the saw both directions, along with in the back we can rotate the saw as well. So that would be how you get your double compound miter saw, or some people just call it a compound miter saw. It's often referred to as a chop saw as well. So if you need to make your angles, these are the most common angles here that we turn. We don't mess with these angles in the back very often at all. So making sure that it's locked in at 0 degrees, we will lock the front. We want to also check to make sure that our guards are in place and that they are in working order. So that one is in working order. If you ever come up to the saw and it will not pull out, that is because in the back, right here, there is a locking mechanism which will keep it from pulling in and out. I'm going to release that. And then on the side, this is our tilt lock. We can do that and it will not go up and down. Alright, releasing that, come look at our switch. So in closely right here at our switch, a lot of times people get confused with the safety mechanism. So when you put your finger behind the switch, you have to push the safety over before you pull the actual trigger. Alright, enough about the safety, the angles, and those kind of things. We want to look at actually how to cut this board. One more thing about safety that we didn't mention is it shows no hands. No hands. That means that if you have your hands in there, you could be the no hand guy, or you're not supposed to put your hands inside of this area. Either way you want to look at it. We need to keep our hands on the outside of these two lines. Alright, now some instances it may be right on the line. Just try to keep them back and as far away from the saw as you can. If you're left-handed and you're trying to use the saw, just be careful where you place your right hand, or don't try to cross across with your left hand while pulling it down, because you don't want this blade to get you right here. Alright, notice that we have our line marked. We mark that with a speed square. Because I am right-handed and the saw is set up right-handed, I'm going to put the larger piece that I can hold in my hand on my left-hand side, so I can pull with my right hand. Notice that the fence on the back is high and it is wide. That is so you can put your wood upside of the fence. That way you can hold it. So you want to keep your thumb pushing the wood to the back. That allows the saw not to pull it. Because if you had it here and you pulled the saw into it, it's going to pull it crazy. Sometimes it could sling it or pull your hand into the actual blade. So now when we go to actually cut the wood, I will hold the wood upside of the fence, which keeps it square, and then I will look at my saw blade. So I can see the actual blade tip is upside the line. So if we want to keep this big side and we're cutting this side off, make sure that you put your blade on the right side of the line. So making sure that I see the line on this side, because this is the side that we want to keep, I will align the blade with the line. I'll slide it to the back to make sure it's on the line in the back. It should be, as long as your fence is square and your blade or your saw is not set up on anything other than 0 degrees. So once I do that, you will pull the saw all the way to the front and you will pull the trigger. Once you pull the trigger, you will push down and then push back. This is not a race, so you shouldn't be doing it very fast. I'm going to hold the piece of wood upside of the fence and down. I'm going to pull the trigger. Once you have pushed the saw all the way to the back, don't stop early. Once you get to the back, then you will release the trigger, and that will ensure that you cut all the way through the wood. That is how you safely use a DeWalt compound miter saw, along with the operations of how to operate it with the angles and other such things.